Today we are going to look at what ingredients make businesses successful. Is success in business rarely an accident? To learn a little bit more and dive into this, I'm also going to give you 3 actionable steps that you could include in your business from what we're going to learn from this video. When you study the companies that endure, those that don't just make money but build movements, you start to notice patterns, not surface level tactics like run ads or posts on social media, but deeper structural elements that shape everything they do. Today we're breaking those elements down, not just what they are, but how they show up in real companies, the mindset behind them, and why some businesses collapse even when they seem to have everything else going for them. And at the center of all of this is something deceptively simple. Yes, the why. The core elements of successful businesses. After studying companies across industries and eras, you'll consistently find these 5 elements. 1, a clear, compelling why. 2, a visionary and inspirational leader. 3, a long-term mindset. 4, relentless execution. And 5, deep customer connection. Let's break each one down with real examples. The power of why. The concept of why was popularized by Simon Sinek in his book Start With Why. His research suggests that the most successful companies don't start with what they do or how they do it. They start with why they exist. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So an example is Apple. Apple doesn't just sell computers or phones. Their why has always been about challenging the status quo and empowering creativity. Under Steve Jobs, the mindset wasn't let's build a better computer. It was think differently, merge technology with art, create tools for people who want to change the world. That's why Apple customers don't just buy products. They identify with the brand. How much of their success comes from why? A significant portion. Research in behavioral psychology, including work by Gerald Zaltman, suggests that 95% of purchasing decisions are subconscious. That means logic alone doesn't drive buying emotion does, and why is emotional. Fun fact, when I was younger in school, I was selected to travel to America from the UK to explore Apple Macs when they were in their early infancy phase. It definitely felt different and quirky. The computer had its own personality. That was very true. You could feel the mindset and why throughout the product. It wasn't a boring standard looking computer. 2, inspirational leadership. Behind every iconic business is a leader who doesn't just manage, but inspires. An example is Aliko Dangote and the Dangote Group. If you want a modern example of resilience and long-term vision, look at Aliko Dangote. He didn't just build a company, he built industries. From a small trading business in 1977, he went on to create the largest industrial conglomerate in West Africa, and then took on one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in the world, the Dangote refinery. This isn't just any refinery. It cost over $19 to $20 billion. It's the largest single train refinery in the world. It has the potential to supply 100% of Nigeria's fuel needs. But what makes this story really powerful isn't just the scale, it's what he went through to build it. Relentless vision despite opposition. The refinery took nearly a decade longer than expected, faced financial challenges, government tensions, supply shortages, public criticism, even reported sabotage attempts at one point. Critics questioned everything, whether the project would even work, whether it was economically viable, and yes, even the quality of the refined products. There were public criticisms and debates around the refinery's output and operations, and Dangote didn't hide from it. In media appearances, he publicly defended the quality of his refinery products, pushing back against claims they were substandard, even bringing experts and evidence to support his position. Now that's strong belief in your why. His mindset. Dangote's mindset is very different from most entrepreneurs. He thinks in decades, not quarters, builds infrastructure, not just companies, solves national scale problems. He stays committed even when it becomes painful. Even he admitted the journey was grueling and filled with obstacles, but he kept going because the mission was bigger than the difficulty. His why. Dangote's why isn't just profit. It's about industrializing Africa, reducing dependency on imports, creating jobs and economic independence. That's a nation level why, and that's why people pay attention. A defining quote from Dangote is one quote that perfectly captures his philosophy: start small, dream big. And that's something I love myself and live by. That's exactly what he did, from trading sugar and cement to building one of the most ambitious industrial projects on the planet. Why this matters. Dangote shows us something critical. A powerful why isn't just about branding. It's about endurance, because when you face delays, criticism, financial pressure, public doubt, the only thing that keeps you going is a vision bigger than those obstacles. 3. The long-term mindset. Short-term thinking kills businesses, as you want your business to have a future and a plan for that future. The old saying, if you don't plan, then you plan to fail, highlights just why this is so important. An example of this is Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Bezos famously said, "We are willing to be misunderstood for long periods of time." Amazon's mindset: prioritize customer experience over immediate profit, invest aggressively in the future, build infrastructure, others won't. For years, Amazon barely made profit, but built dominance. 4. Execution still matters. Having a why without execution is just philosophy. For example, Nike. Nike's why is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete. But what makes them successful is consistent brand storytelling, elite athlete partnerships, world-class product innovation. Their execution aligns perfectly with their purpose. Now 5. Deep customer connection. The strongest businesses don't just serve customers, they build communities. For example, Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson doesn't sell motorcycles, they sell freedom, identity, belonging. Customers sometimes tattoo their logo on their bodies. That's not a transaction, that's emotional alignment. That is very significant when your customer has that emotional investment with your brand. The psychology behind why. There's real science behind this. Research by Harvard Business School and neuroscientific studies show the limbic brain, where your emotion is, drives decisions. The neocortex part of your brain, which is the logic side, justifies them. When a company communicates its why, it speaks directly to the emotional brain. That's why Apple users defend the brand, and Dangote has so much pride in Africa. Nike customers feel empowered. Now let's flip it. Why businesses fail. Here's where it gets interesting. Most failed businesses don't fail because of a lack of tactics. They fail because they're missing one or more core elements. Example 1. Blockbuster. Blockbuster had massive distribution, brand recognition, market dominance, but they lacked a clear evolving why, a long-term mindset. They saw themselves as a video rental company and not as an entertainment access company. Meanwhile, Netflix redefined the why. Make entertainment accessible at any time. Blockbuster focused on late fees. Netflix focused on customer experience. What was the outcome? Blockbuster in the end collapsed, and now Netflix dominates. Another example is Kodak. Kodak actually invented the digital camera, but their mindset was protect existing revenue, preserve the film business. They lacked the courage to align with a new why and long-term thinking. They didn't see themselves as preserving memories. They saw themselves as selling film. Another example was WeWork. WeWork is interesting because they did have a why to elevate the world's consciousness, but they lacked sustainable execution, financial discipline, clear operational structure. This shows something important. Why alone is not enough. It must be grounded in reality. You must also put strong processes in place and have financial discipline in your business. What's the missing ingredient in failed businesses? It's rarely just one thing, but often one of these is a weak or unclear why, leadership without vision, short-term thinking, poor execution, no emotional connection. But if you had to pick the most common, they focus on what and how, but ignore why. The deeper connection, why, when your why is clear, it does three powerful things. It filters decisions. You don't chase every opportunity, you choose aligned ones. It attracts the right people, customers, employees, and partners who believe what you believe. And 3, it builds loyalty. Beyond logic, people stay even when cheaper options exist. The mindset behind great founders across all these examples, the mindset is strikingly similar. They think in decades, not days. They prioritize impact over income, initially anyway. They embrace risk and uncertainty. They build for meaning, not just money. As Peter Drucker said, the purpose of business is to create and keep a customer. But the best companies go further. They create an unshakable and undeniable belief, a why. Final thoughts. So, success isn't random. It's built on clarity of purpose, strength of leadership, consistency of execution, depth of connection, and at the center of it all, a why that resonates on a human level. 3 action steps you can implement today. 1. Define your why. Don't write a generic mission statement. Ask yourself, what change do I want to create? Who is this really for? Why does it matter beyond profit? Then simplify it into one clear idea. 2. Align everything to it. Align your marketing, product, hiring, customer experience. All of this should all reflect your why. If something doesn't align, leave it out. 3. Communicate it relentlessly. Your audience should hear your why so often that they can repeat it. Tell stories, show proof, make it emotional. Because people don't connect to businesses. They connect to meaning and purpose. Drop a comment below. What business do you connect with and why? Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Always remember to know your why, design your profit first, and your spend second.